Hey there, creepy peeps, and welcome back to another new movie review. Today we are talking about Unfriended, Dark Web. Really quick though, before I get into anything else, I want to say a quick thank you to my creepy patron peeps for your support of my channel, and a special welcome to Pierre, a new patron. Thank you so much for your support, Pierre, and for joining us, and thank you to all my other creepy patron peeps as well for your support of my channel. Thank you so much. If you want to find out the perks to being a creepy patron peep, you can follow that link in the description. Directed by Steven Susko and starring Colin Woodell, Rebecca Rittenhouse, and Andrew Lees, Unfriended Dark Web follows Matthias, who comes into the possession of a laptop, thinking the owner abandoned it. While on a Skype call with his friends, Matthias realizes the original owner of the laptop has been watching him and will do anything to get their laptop back. So by now everyone probably has heard of the film's two endings that are being shown in theaters. I heard from some of my creepy patron peeps during our movie night that the theaters were given both endings and they are just showing them alternatingly. They were given instructions to show them on alternating showing times, which I didn't know about going in to the movie, and we started talking about it during the movie night, and then I got asked which ending I saw, and I was just like, excuse me, what? Apparently this has happened before with the popular cult classic Clue, which came out in 1985, which again, I didn't know about. Obviously, I didn't go to the theater in 1985 to see it because I wasn't even a concept yet at that point, which I didn't know about, and I love the movie Clue, so I guess like my whole life has been a lie because I didn't know about the different endings. Don't know, definitely gonna look into that now. So yeah, that leads into what I liked about Unfriended Dark Web. So I think the idea of showing two different endings in the theaters while it's premiering is a super interesting like marketing gimmick, whatever you want to call it, because for reasons that I'll get into in a second, that's what it is. It's a marketing thing. It definitely gets people to talk about the movie, and especially this day and age in social media, if they're talking about it on Twitter, Instagram, whatever, they're using that hashtag Unfriended Dark Web or whatever the heck the hashtag is for the movie, then that's, you know, it gets on the trending page and it gets more news because, you know, everyone's talking about it. So it's, you know, it works. It gets people to talk about the movie, even if they're just talking about it, you know, face to face and not on the internet. I feel like this is maybe just more like a hope from the studio that maybe it would get people to go see the movie multiple times. Although I don't think that necessarily is going to work because, you know, the internet, literally all it took was for me to ask one of my patrons and I found out what the other ending was. Because luckily we each saw different endings. So, I mean, I don't need to go see the movie again. Not that I was going to. So let's get into what I didn't like about Unfriended Dark Web. So now that I know what the second ending was, I don't think it changes the movie for me like at all. From what I understand, it seems that the movie ultimately ends the same way. It's just slightly different how it gets there, which is why I feel like it's just a marketing ploy and nothing else. It's not like a good or a bad ending. It's just, you know, it's just an alternate ending that they just decided to show in the theaters is all. It's a marketing gimmick. Enough about that. Other things I didn't like about the movie. I'm not a fan of the hacker and dark web stuff. I think it's super interesting that I see some people talking about it and talking about how much more realistic this movie is compared to the other one, which involves a ghost, so it has like a supernatural element to it. I actually feel the opposite about it. I think the first one was more realistic for me. And follow me here, I know it involves like a ghost and supernatural elements, and that's the unrealistic part. But everything else about the movie is so realistic that I'm able to suspend my disbelief for the ghosts and the supernatural bits, because the whole of the first movie takes place on familiar territory, on Skype, on Facebook, on YouTube. There's some Skype stuff in there, or whatever it is, iTunes, or whatever she's listening to her music on in the first one. It's all familiar territory. So it feels realistic because I'm familiar with those things, and so I'm able to, you know, just pretend that a ghost could hack into somebody's computer for an hour and 30 minutes, you know? Whereas this one, they use all this like hackery type stuff, which I always find hilarious in movies because I feel like whenever they show like hacking and stuff in a movie, like a lot of times in action movies too, there's always like that one like techie hacker person. And I feel like, I mean, I don't know anything about that sort of stuff, like coding, hacking, whatever, but I just feel like I just feel like they use that character as an excuse to do whatever they want. Like, oh, we don't know how to get from point A to point B, so we'll just have the hacker do some stuff and then all of a sudden we're there. You know, I feel like, I don't know if any of that is making any sense, but like, I just feel like they can't figure out how to logically get from one point to another, so they just have the hacker character like clickety clack on the keyboard really fast and you see stuff flying all over the screen and then it's done, and then, you know what I mean? Like, it just seems so unrealistic. Like, again, I don't know anything about this hacking sort of stuff, but I feel like hackers can't do half of the stuff that they can in movies, and if they can, not nearly as quickly. So to me, that made the movie more unrealistic because I feel like the general audience doesn't know the ins and outs of hacking, doesn't know the ins and outs of the dark web, so they can do whatever they want and kind of make stuff up as they go along, and nobody can question it because we don't know about it. Unlike, you know, Skype and Facebook and YouTube, which we know all about. And I know it's a movie and you can make up stuff. That's the beauty of movies. You can do that if you want. I just feel like I had to address it because I feel like a lot of people are talking about how much more realistic this one is, and I just had the opposite opinion. I thought it was super unrealistic. And I gotta talk about the characters. I didn't give a shit about any of them. I feel like they tried to develop Matthias's character a little bit and his relationship with his girlfriend, which is very obviously strained, but they don't let you in on really why. At least, like, maybe I was just reading too much into the movie, but I feel like something was supposed to have happened between the two of them. Like, they were in a relationship and I just kind of gleaned that they got into a really big fight, and then he's trying to win her back a little bit. I wish they had kind of let us in more on what happened. Like one of them addressed it or something like that when they were having one of their mini conversations. Like, not like we need a flashback or anything, but just type out or talk out like, I'm sorry that I did this, and then which would explain, like what happened or something like that. I don't know if I'm making any sense. The two girls, I feel like they developed their characters, like their relationship, way more than the main characters, which is a problem because they aren't the main characters. Was Unfriended Dark Web worth it? No, it was not. Not for me. I did not like it. So I'm gonna give it a 0.5 out of 5. Yeah, 0.5 out of 5. On IMDb though, it has a 5.3 out of 10. On Rotten Tomatoes, it has a 57% critic score and a 53% audience score. And then on Letterboxd, it has a 3 out of 5. So if you went out to the theaters this weekend and saw Unfriended Dark Web, please let me know in the comment section what you thought about it. As always, I do hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new here. Become a Creepy Peep today. I post videos Monday through Friday, and you can ring that notification bell down there as well to be notified whenever one of my videos goes live. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, stay strange. Bye.